have a game with happy and sad music. When you hear the happy music, play your rhythm sticks or clap, just as you did before, like this.
So that's Mr. Alec's Empire. So I'm going to drag him into the call. Schism, is that alright, bro?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to drag him into the call. Right, hopefully he will be prepared for us. Oops.
Hey. Hello.
Are you there?
Hi.
Yes, that's me, Alec.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you guys?
I'm excellent, Alex. Thank you. I'm AJ.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Schism.
Okay.
He's the short, bald one.
All right. So are we like online or I don't know? Like.
Yes, we're live on air.
All right.
So yeah, sorry about that. We just dragged you into our live conversation we were having there as I got your friend request in.
All right. I should retweet this thing, right? So our people can listen in too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you do that, then we'll get because I've been tweeting it a bit anyway. So if you want to kind of just do a bit of retweets, because
all right,
all your followers and stuff, then
that's good. Cool. We've just done this, so hopefully people know. But are you recording this also, right? So
yes, it gets podcasted as well. Yes.
That's awesome because then, for those who missed it.
And it's available for download as well.
Ah, cool. But you will tweet and send me the link, right? So.
Yes. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Right. Cool.
So do it to your Twitter or ATR's?
It's up. You can do it to both.
This is true. I can.
It's not such a big difference. With the ATR, the others will see it too. So,
Yeah.
That's
I just don't want to click Alex Jones instead of Alex Empire.
Yeah, that's easy, right? Like that, people confuse that sometimes when you anything with New World Order or stuff like that. I had this before happening. People do a Google search, like journalists or something, and they mix that stuff up.
So where are you at the moment?
Berlin.
You're at home sort of thing,
yeah? No, we're in the studio. Like we are, wrapping up the record, and it's almost done, but there's a few things we still have to do. Like we played 2 shows the last weekend, so we basically just got back, and then I'm going to Tokyo this weekend for the Tokyo, the Japanese Sonar Festival. I don't know if you guys know the Spanish. That festival, it's like a sort of electronic thing, and they're doing a Japanese one this weekend, and I'm looking forward to playing there.
Oh, that'd be really good, yeah. And didn't I see somewhere that somebody mentioned there was a tweet about you going to Australia or something?
Yeah, that used to be the plan, but these shows kind of fell apart for various reasons. One was that I don't know if I even should speak about this in public because it's kind of embarrassing for the promoter, but whatever. The only thing the guy ran was Facebook ads, but he tagged it not with this tags that should have been tagged. And I mean the question is also, do you want to promote shows just based on Facebook ads? And then it's 3 months beforehand he's panicking, and he's we think not enough people clicked on these fucking Facebook ads, and I was look, man, if you don't know what you're doing, we'd rather come back another time and do it with somebody else. So it was a bit disappointing because a lot of people waited for these shows, and he even sold tickets. So I hope the fans who bought tickets can get the money back. But that was a bit stupid. But this stuff happens, with shows. Sometimes you have people who are really like awesome, especially when you work with like sort of more independent type people like we do, or like, you know, for example, sometimes even squats or, you know, people like that. So you don't have these, you know, super professional people all the time working. We do all kinds of stuff, you know. We also do like bigger festivals and stuff, but you know, we don't want to stop doing the sort of underground type shows, and you know, that's why sometimes this kind of shit can happen. But on the other side, I'm a bit relaxed because we put out the new record then, and you know, we would definitely show up there, you know, at some point, you know, sooner than maybe people think. So it's going to be cool. But it was a bit stupid for the fans, yeah, because they were looking forward. So Australia was the only territory that we didn't do so far. So people were like, you know, so, and we've been to almost every other country like 3 times already. So, but, you know, that's cool. Yeah, there's something about Australia that is like in the ATR history is like almost like a curse, because you see, like when we last went to Australia in 1999, we played the Big Day Out festival with you know, 9 Inch Nails and those types of bands, and then we came back and then we played this Brixton Academy show, and you know, the whole band fell apart, and it was like a total disaster. So you know, for us it's like Australia is always like, do we want to go out there? It's still cursed. It's a cursed continent.
Yeah, what's going to happen next, sort of thing, yeah.
That's because we sent all the criminals there.
Yeah, right. And in the UK, there are none of these.
No. We're all little surrounded little Care Bears. We are.
So, just basically, just to give people, I mean, people who are listening who may not know about sort of your music and your background and so forth and so on. I mean, you've been around for like, well, it's over 20 years now. And
depends which country you're asking around.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously you were born in Berlin, and obviously that's where it all kind of stemmed from. But you've got quite a political background anyway, haven't you? I mean, you've got like I mean, your father was, you know, was quite political. I presume he was a socialist. So
that's what he thinks. That's where our whole political debates come from, you know, because I was always like kind of critical when I grew up. But you know, I'm actually glad that he had these kind of views, because that meant that, you know, politics kind of mattered when I grew up. You know, I wasn't born into these types of families where people just, you know, would watch TV and don't care or whatever. So that was good. But you know, on the other side, Berlin, especially in the 80s, you know, with the I had family in the east part of Berlin, you know, with the GDR, basically. So, you know, when you grow up in that environment, you know also that the let's say you know, everything that sounds very positive about the you know, the ideas of a system like that, you know, I mean, for example, the whole surveillance thing, you know, with the Stasi and, you know, the secret police basically from Eastern Germany. That is stuff that, you know, I learned in that time, you know, that this is so dangerous. And it's, you know, this kind of influenced me, you know, to this day, you know, like the political stuff that's going on now. You know, I think people in England, they underestimate that always, you know, they don't understand, like, because it hasn't in that way happened to them. That was this obvious, you know, failure where people, you know, like basically everybody saw like, oh my God, like this is so screwed up, you know, the politicians are abusing, you know, this technology and they're spying on people, you know. So, yeah, this was kind of like the time I grew up in, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of similar in a way. I mean, if you sort of been growing up in that kind of surveillance, there's like a surveillance state. I mean, you know, you had, you know, checkpoints and all that sort of stuff going on at the wall and things. It's kind of a similar situation. I mean, in a sense where in this country, you know, a lot of people grew up with like the IRA and terrorism and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a lot worse back in the 80s and back in the 70s than it is today.
Yeah.
And it's become quite a, you know, terrorism is such a big word now. But people forget that it was a lot worse back then. Do you know what I mean? Before, you know, and it's amazing how, you know, how things, you know, people tend to forget stuff, don't they? I mean, but it's no, it's amazing. So yes, so anyway, so you've kind of you've always been quite a political band. You started off like with the anti-Nazi stuff in the early days,
Yeah.
and since then you've been kind of like quite, I'd say, quite anti-corporate.
Yeah, I mean, anti-corporate. It's a good question, because like we used to work, and it's not that we are completely against it, but with, for example, major label distribution, so then that was basically because the indies in Germany, when we started out, they all hated us, and they were like, what is this music? It's way too aggressive. Like, what are you guys saying? That this should be stopped, like, blah, blah, blah. And, sometimes, like, the indies can be, they want to, be like, they don't want to risk anything, basically, So we always had, like, these, we're basically working with both, both types of companies, but what really matters was that we started our own label and kept the control, and I think that's what I can only advise any other musician to do, that you never give away that control, that people can't just, turn you into something else, and if they try, you can, basically say, stop, no, this is against the contract, like, or whatever, and they can't move forward without, basically you making that final decision. So I think it's really about, like, control your own stuff, like, as much as you can, or you
Don't
end
let
up...
anybody stifle your expression.
Yeah, I mean, you might end up in a Sony ad with... But you know what I mean. It's really like, it's important that you then can, make a move. If something like this comes up, like, you are the person that decides what will happen, And so that, when you say anti-corporate, of course, we are very critical of these, huge corporations when they, breed, like, corrupt politicians and basically run the, this political system as well, because I think it's not that anything good comes from that, but I wouldn't say, for example, I don't know, like, don't sell the music in iTunes or something, like, I mean, we do that as well, but on the other side, you can get it everywhere else, too, and also the free stuff, so, which is the exact same stuff, but it's not like we are really boycotting these kind of companies. But on the other side, if they would start to go, hey, this is, like the track Black Flags, for example, that is, we don't want to have this appear in the store or whatever, then, we would make sure that we have other alternative ways of getting stuff out. So I think it's really important that you don't depend only on one, way of doing things. I mean, now with the internet, it's much easier anyway, but like in the 90s, for example, when we started putting out the first vinyl records, it was that you had to get into record stores basically, or you ran a small mail order or something like that, so people weren't able to just listen to the music. Now I think it's that problem is kind of solved, and I think it's also, I think, important that musicians understand that they that this kind of freedom must exist in the future, because if things getting too controlled, I mean, I'm just talking about any other band or something that's maybe not so into the kind of political stuff like we are, it will affect them, in the moment when their music is being compromised or they are being put on ice by their label or something, that, that sucks, and a lot of young bands, I think, don't think about that stuff enough. Maybe, for example, you sign to a record label and, somebody screws something up and the label goes bust and it's being bought maybe by a really shitty company or something. Suddenly you are stuck in there and other people do anything they want with your music, and it's your face, like at the end of the day, you stand there and, you have to kind of, justify that, and it can destroy you, and I think that all these things people have to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I suppose by being sort of more independent, digital hardcore has been really, kind of successful for you. I mean, to being independent, you kind of, it's almost, I mean, like the copyright laws, you know, all these people who are being kind of, you know, it seems like they only seem to, I mean, I don't know how affected you are by those things, because quite frankly, I mean, a lot of these people who are kind of like complaining about, you know, all these companies are trying to sue people for downloading Justin Bieber or whatever. I mean, a lot of these fans that, again, don't you think, well, fuck them, I don't want to download the crap anyway. And the other side of it is, I mean, people like Sony, for example, who make the equipment for you to download and allows you to copy stuff on the CD, like blank CDs and CD rewriters or DVD rewriters, then are then trying to tell you not to do the very thing that things are designed for. And you think, well, how much money do they make from selling that stuff? Does it counterbalance with stuff that they're losing on people downloading the latest Justin Bieber track?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, this is this kind of old debate, you know, that they say, oh yeah, it's just being made for your whatever family videos, blah blah blah, and then it's almost like, and sometimes I feel that it feels almost like a trap, you know. Like they want people to violate some law in some country or whatever, that they can pass new regulations. You know, it feels like some of these companies, let's make money, and then, you know, we still try to make more money by suing our own customers or something. It's insane. I mean, that's why, you know, like when this, in 2000 or something, when this was really starting to, you know, become an issue with like Napster and stuff, I was saying at DHR, I was like, hey, the technology is out there like that. We got to deal with this, and if we now ask the state for help, you know, that is not anything I can, you know, I want to do. And also, I think it's very short-sighted, you know, if you just go, oh, I want to take this person to court, this person, you know, and then you just, you know, is that really how you? I mean, there's like bands in Germany that just released their albums so they can sue their own fans if they downloaded it illegally. You know, it's sort of so it's like the whole idea of making the record was because they had the lawyers in place to then sue people. And I'm thinking like, this is so screwed up. You know, like how can you?
Completely, totally. I mean, I found the most interesting thing with what you were doing, especially like 2 years ago when you were kind of doing the Black Flags track. And I remember at the time hearing about the fact that Sony had used it on an advert, or you'd allowed Sony to use the advert, and when you got the money from it, you actually donate the whole thing to, I think it was Free Anons, wasn't it?
Yes. To the
anonymous, so you actually donate all the money you got from, which is kind of ironic because at that point, obviously, you know, they weren't the best friends with Anonymous.
No, I mean that's why we did it.
And you were basically getting the money from Sony, and Sony was basically paying to help keep Anons out of prison, or at least give them legal help.
Yeah, you know, I was
twist.
I was really. You know, I mean, all that stuff made us so angry when you hear about these, you know, all these stories. And I mean, part of that was also the reason why we even made probably the whole album, you know, like everything that was going on, like, you know, since, you know, 2010 right into 2011, you know, like also the whole WikiLeaks stuff, you know, this was really... I mean, a lot of people talked about that, and we thought this is something, you know, musicians should really kind of get on board, you know, and speak out. What I kind of underestimated a bit was like the kind of hate we got from people in the music scene, you know, not only the industry, but also other musicians, when they were like, these terrorists, you know, how can you even... you know, like even mention Anonymous on a track, you know, they are all like, you know, it's shameful, they are pedophiles and this and that. And I'm like, you know, it really, I mean, we really pressed some buttons. Like, I didn't even
No, it's just, it's been a touchy subject this week for us over this side of the Odd on the Radio sort of thing, so...
yeah.
So, but you know, so it's
Alec, do you mind if I just sort of interrupt you? I've had somebody ask you to do a request, and now feel free to tell him where to go. But he says, "Can you just say once, get the chopper?"
Get what?
Get the chopper. I don't understand. So, but
I don't. If I know what it means, I can say it. But
oh, hang a minute. Right,
really
I'm with you.
understand
Sorry, he thinks you sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I do apologise.
I do.
I
mean, he's from Austria, but this is an ongoing joke that we always make when we're on tour, like because the others are not from Germany, you know. So we know the sense of humor because of my accent.
So could you say "get to the chopper" for him, please?
But why should what does he mean by that?
I think it's a line from Predator 3.
You know that Arnold Schwarzenegger when he talks in that old interview like about that I'm coming all the time, you know the have you ever seen this? And he's like bodybuilding. Have you ever seen this video? Like, this is amazing.
Was that the one where he did Hercules in New York or whatever it was?
Yeah, I think so. And he talks about how it's like sex, right? And he's like,
Yes, absolutely. It's
seen this?
Hercules in New York. Yes, it is. I remember seeing that back in the day, when I was a lad.
that's amazing. Like, okay.
So when did you, I mean, getting back to the interview and getting away from the fucking idiots on the chat. Where did we? So when
I mean, the whole interview is like, that's like German, German stuff.
So where did the idea for actually getting people to contribute to the actual video for Black Flowers come from? I mean that was an awesome idea because it was brilliant. 'Cause I remember when everybody was talking about it at the time and people were sending in videos and so forth.
Yeah, I can tell you that. I mean, it was kind of funny how that evolved because, I mean, first of all, like, let's say there's a sort of timeline that kind of matters, for this, like the way to explain how this thing came about. Like in June 2011, we were already planning, like, we wanted to get the track out. One way or another, and various ideas were on the table, and a video director that you really wanted to direct a sort of like old school type, like music video, couldn't do it in time, and we were in Japan. We played a festival there, and then on the way back, we were all discussing like, okay, let's just come up with a better idea, another alternative. And then we discussed things, and we were like, how about really involving people outside, like the fans, like, or whoever wants to support the message, because I mean, this has been done before, that people send in footage.
Yeah.
It's that wasn't the new thing or something. But what we thought is interesting, if because the track is really about the way the governments really fight whistleblowers. Like, I mean, the Bradley Manning case that was,
of course, yeah.
That was really why we wrote the song. And we thought, how about you ask people who listen to the music, for example, like, do you actually understand what we're talking about? Would you actually, film yourself and supporting this instead of, it's easy to just consume a piece of music and go, oh, that's cool. But, would you, make that point in public with us together, And so this whole idea happened. Then we got together with, this guy, Broken Sidewalk Farm, like he's, this guy, right? So, he was really excited about this, and he, before he sent us this video clip of him, broadcasting, on the side of the streets, like he had this little radio transmitter or something, and he always would broadcast like activate that track that we wrote into like cars passing by. You know, it was like, and I just loved that video. I was like, this is like so awesome because he's in Texas somewhere, you know, and people would be so mad. You know, they would be on the traffic lights, they would stop, and suddenly out of their radio there would be this, you know, this Atari Teenage Riot track blasting, and people were like, you know, and he would stand there on the side with a Guy Fawkes mask and with like some sort of sign, you know, that the dollar is, you know, is not going to be there in a few months' time, and you know, things like this. And I think it was really awesome, like what he did. So, and he got so excited, and he's like, hey, could we actually send in footage? Us wearing a mask, because of course the idea was that people would lip sync the song, and I think that's when the whole anonymous thing started to, you know, happen, because we were like, yeah, of course. I mean, the lip syncing part, in my opinion, that's okay, you know, so people have something to do when they when they film the footage. But actually, that would be even a better statement. And then so we got the first stuff in, and there was some good stuff in the first edit. You can still watch it on YouTube, I think. But, you know, I think then in September, I mean, we got this out, and there was the whole corpsing kind of idea. You know, at that time was, you know, every idiot did that, what was it called, planking. You know, I don't know if you remember this. You know, so, and we were at the airport, like, coming back from Japan, and I was like, you know what people should really do? They should lie down with a black flag over their body, basically over their head, protesting, because this is how, you know, when soldiers come back in a body bag, basically, you know, they're often the flag of the nation is, you know, it's like, you know, and we were like, this is what's happening, you know, out there, and people are dying, you know, for this profit bullshit, you know. So and I demonstrated that at the airport. It was like 3 minutes later there was security, because
was that one when you're lying inside the store?
Yeah, exactly. That was and I was like, okay, I show you how provocative this is if you just lie down. You know, you don't even have to, I don't know, like you stand there with a big sign. Like people, when you show people that people are dying, you know, and then you make a sort of point about that, this pisses a lot of people off, because this is, I think, in the mainstream media, what they don't want to show, you know, is the you know, like the dead people in Iraq, you know, dead children, dead, you know, in Afghanistan, like all this stuff, you know, they're trying to hide, and that's the reality of these wars, you know. And I think that was an important statement kind of to make, and everybody was able to participate. But I think then in September, you know, we were on tour in America, and it was exactly the time when Occupy started, and it was really great. Like we were on tour, and we would play cities like New York, and then you know, it was funny. Like 3-4 days later, we would hear, you know, Occupy started. We would go to Chicago. Yeah, and, you know, this is awesome.
I think it was around the same time that you were asking for people to appear in the video, that the actual Wall Street started kicking off a bit. I think it was just beforehand or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this was, you know, the first edit was done like in that was like August or something, and then, you know, we wanted to get the other one out like end of September, and then we were kind of, I think, lucky that people were able to send us footage from Occupy LA and things like that. And this is also when I first met Peter Fine, you know, the guy. He came to one of the shows, and we talked, you know, for quite a while after that. And the more people I met, basically on that tour, I was like, this is so good, you know, like the way people are mobilizing. And I love the you know, the Operation Bart, like you know, the you know, that thing. We followed that over, like, in Berlin online, you know, and we couldn't believe how. I mean, to me, like, this was so exciting to witness, like on Twitter and stuff, and all the, you know, that sort of broadcast of sound and you know, all these things. And I was, you know, we were really excited. The band, we were like, this is so awesome. These people, what they're doing, unbelievable, and you can kind of witness it. And, you know, it reminded me of you know, in the early 90s, like I was a huge fan of in England, the pirate radio stations, you know.
Okay.
This is really when the first like drum and bass stuff and rave stuff was really interesting, because these stations, they had the mixes that were just representing exactly how the scene was, and not like some sort of like BBC Radio 1 version of it, which was a bit mellowed down and a bit more, melodic, etc., etc. And, we were so into that, and it really reminded me like how the immediate interaction, with, the online world, basically, like how that is more important than, or exciting also than just, for example, just putting up something later or uploading something that stays there. That's also good. But I think the stuff that's going on that you can be a part of while it's actually happening, I think that was sort of like a changing point in those early years of this new decade, and this was good. So, and then we got all this more footage in, and that led basically the second edit led to us getting the material from WikiLeaks when Julian Assange was speaking at Occupy London, and that was also really good footage, I thought. And then we got like from students in Chile, from the student protests there. We got stuff from the anti-nuclear protests in Japan, and then also some musicians sent us stuff in. And I think when I look at this video now, it's a little document.
Well, it is. I mean, in theory, there's nothing stopping you from doing a third and a fourth edit. In theory, and just changing the images around to fit for times. Do you know what I mean? Because the song itself is kind of a timeless kind of song, because it's talking about what's happening now. Yeah. And that's not going to change. And the first edit. I mean, I remember seeing the first edit, and it was very kind of very heavily anonymous.
Because that's the footage that we got. I remember like when we had all the footage, it was like, okay, so that's that. And I remember it was funny when the guys from Dimmack Records, who is putting out the record in the US, like Steve Aoki's label, people were like, okay, so okay, this is kind of interesting, this anonymous stuff. Can we call them up or something? I mean, these guys are just party guys, so they didn't fully understand what was happening. But I thought this was so good that we got this stuff, and in theory, it's just down to the material that we're getting, and that's why we also wanted to get rid more and more of ourselves in the video. Ideally I would have had the band or like myself just appear maybe in one shot, and so it's like basically just people who sent in their footage. But I think we got pretty close to the concept. I think it's but yeah, we should do another one as soon as when there's more interesting footage.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you ever decide to do a third edit, let us know, and we'll make sure that you will send us. Because I don't know how much footage you actually got from the UK, but
that's a good question.
Yeah, let us know, and we'll definitely
guys, it's your video. Like, the email address is still up, and when people send in footage, they can still send in footage.
Oh, okay, right.
If there's enough stuff there, we just do another edit. I always said that, but I think people.
Well, people just move on, don't they?
Seriously, comes along. If there's a new statement or something that needs to be made, the track is there, and I think even it would be even worth looking at remixing it or something again to give it another drive, like so people have something new to check out. It's definitely because that stuff is, as you said, it's going on now, and it's not like something that this kind of fight is not over yet. So
no, definitely no, and it's not going to go anywhere sort of way anytime soon, is it? So it's so no, it's definitely a sort of worth sort of thinking about. Maybe we should get something together down this end and get something out to you and stuff. When we're next all together in a place where we can have a video camera, I guess. But no, I mean, it was one of those tracks that I think was quite sort of a lot of the Anons had never heard of Atari Teenage Riot, and it allowed them to sort of, get a bit of something that a lot of people probably wouldn't have sort of looked at, other than the fact that it had loads of Anon images on it and stuff. So, no, it's good. No, it's brilliant. In fact, actually, Ajax, should we play it?
Yeah, it's a radio type show, right?
Exactly.
I believe it is, yeah. They tell me
It's a talk show.
Well, we do both.
Let's play the track.
Right,
give
okay.
Alex a bit of a break and get himself a glass of water.
Right, no worries. So this is the track. So this is the track everybody's been on about. It's Atari Teenage Riot, Black Flag.
Atari Teenage Riot. Anonymous Teenage Riot. Are you ready to testify? Are you ready to testify? Black flags. Are you ready to testify? You have 2 seconds. Are you ready to testify? Come on. There's a unified axis of government and corporate power, lawless and unrestrained. That's what we should talk about. Corporations exploit the power of the state to further enhance their power, and the real criminals get away. Are you ready to testify? Are you ready to testify? Black flags. Are you ready to testify? You have 2 seconds. Are you ready to testify? Come on. Try to threaten the system. We have the full weight of law come crashing down upon you, so you don't resist. Surveillance, goons, force us to be silent. They kill the careers of journalists, so no one can resist. My flow is wet, it's like they shut off my water. I got the shit left to me for what I say about Obama. My black is red like a period, comma. I'm a piranha, just like every one of y'all. Let's take that show to the slaughter. Here we gotta be bouncing more than last month's Rick check. The balls walking Wall Street with a pimp stand. People are move here. We need to let the rich net. We low pay prostitutes with no fishnet. The Shabiri and Scott endless time to homeland security. We are the bomb. And from the house staff, the mobs on the lawn, and it ain't no soiree. The man say pop on. They call it Black Flag, but I'm not an anarchist. I'm on some simple hammer shit, collect some Bruce Banner shit. Over a piano pitch, calculate the hammer hit. We hit collecting damages and hand and knuckle sandwiches. There's a class war going on, and it's the rich who are waging it. They try to destroy anyone who's a threat to their power, playing for keeps. They want it all. They want it all. Are you ready to testify? Are you ready to testify? Black flags. Are you ready to testify?
And welcome back to AnonUK and Island Radio. We've got Alex Empire from the amazing band Atari Teenage Riot and Schism. I think he's just dived out for a cigarette. I'm not sure if he's back. So he's back. Me and Alex are just having a chat about that I should man up a bit and take the hardcore a bit more into me. He was asking me where the hell was I when his music was coming out, and I was just explaining I was lost in a field in Somerset.
Yeah, exactly. A hippie.
No,
Yeah.
not quite a hippie. I was hardcoring it up in the illegal rave scene.
Okay, really? Okay,
Yes,
so
yeah.
you should have listened to Atari Teenage Riot back in the day, when
This
we
is
did
true.
stuff with Spyro Tribe and those types of guys. So.
All right. No, I was I lost a few years in a field.
Some haze somewhere.
Yeah, just a little bit.
No, I know how that feels, man.
It's got to be done. You've got to, you got to live a little when you're younger.
exactly. You know,
Yeah, completely, yeah.
Steve Jobs was there, so he took LSD all the time. So.
He did, and look what he came up with. The most expensive computers in the world. What a great concept! And
Exactly.
people buy
Carl
it.
Sagan, he was a complete hash smoker, wasn't he? And he wrote, a Nobel-winning book, So
This is true. This is
Yes,
true.
we.
so like we say.
You know, we're all geniuses, but we don't have to, exploit that too much, right? I
No, that's true.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I got told off about that as well live on air once.
No, but that's good. No, but that's exactly the kind of time when we started out. I think when you mentioned the illegal rave scene, that was a really exciting time.
It was really crazy time as well because it was unpredictable and total chaotic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As well.
I think what was also exciting from the music point of view was that there weren't the rules yet. So people were just testing. It was like you would have all these types of ideas, and it wasn't like, okay, the DJ has to do this in order to make everybody dance. You would have the sort of acid techno stuff and the breakbeat stuff, the rave stuff. All kinds of styles were it was like really like much more diverse, I think, than the electronic scene is maybe now. I mean, now you have all these scenes really kind of fragmented, but I think the energy that happened back in the day, because people were more about like, hey, let's come together and let's share these ideas and let's just test new ideas, basically, and whatever else they were testing, new drugs, and new types of sounds, like all kinds of stuff. I think that was very creative, and sometimes I think it's really important to remind ourselves that once all the rules are there and people go, no, this shouldn't be like this, or this is not hip hop, or this is not whatever, dubstep, or when those types of people turn up, the scenes are always kind of dying, because it's not about that. It's about going further, testing also the limits. I don't know if you remember that, but it was really about, okay, fuck, this is crazy. Let's just do it. This makes sense. I mean, that's why the major record labels saw it as such a threat. I mean, it was people were
could they?
They were selling thousands of copies on white labels. Which I spoke with AnonUK in the Dazed and Confused interview about that a bit, and in this Wired chat we had with Quinn Norton. That that is the same idea, it's like, no, don't worry about the, whatever the rock star photo or something on the cover of the album. Like, just listen to the music. It's just a white label and there's like a number on it or something. So you have to basically make that decision. Do you like this or you don't, or do you like this because whatever, there's a blonde girl or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I grew up musically completely opposite to Ajax, because I grew up with. I was listening to bands like, I grew up with industrial music, and I listened to bands like Robin Gristle and White House.
Really?
And experimental bands, a lot of the earlier sort of New Barton stuff that was kind of very experimental. So that's how I kind of got into, the Atari Teenage Riot stuff, because I kind of grew up with that kind of sort of the sort of, if you like, sort of more noise industrial to, the standard sort of more kind of poppy Nine Inch Nails stuff. Even though the earlier Nine Inch Nails stuff wasn't so, it got kind of poppy, didn't it, in the end? But
yeah, it did a bit. Nine Inch Nails did get a bit poppy.
Yeah, they did. They turned into they became sort of Depeche Mode, sort of.
I think their best work was Pretty Hate Machine, though. You know what I mean?
yeah, they did. But I mean, they were nothing compared to things like Robin Gristle and White House, who are kind of like, Robin Gristle was pushing the barrier of everything. Do you know what I mean? To be honest, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, they were. I mean, that's the generation before we started. I grew up with that stuff, and I always say, we owe these types of musicians a lot. I mean, because sometimes there are journalists who go, they make it sound like almost like we started something. Okay, we started our own kind of sound in a way, but it would have been nothing without those types of bands or musicians way before us, you know, and then that's the same probably, you know, with the New York group Suicide, for example, or even then earlier.
Suicide was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, or these earlier, like, you know, late 60s, early 70s electronic, you know, people like, which were just experimenting with the technology. I mean, like Silver Apples, like all that stuff. And then even the Musique Concrète, you know, like Pierre Schaeffer, like all the, I mean, they did stuff with like tapes and stuff in like the 40s, 50s, you know. So I think there's something about understanding music in a different way. And I hope that we are moving more towards, you know, this, just a time where we can just forget that pop music formula, because I mean, let's face it, you know, it's almost like the same with political ideas. You know, slave people to this sort of grid. You know, they behave in a certain way when they hear a pop song, and they wouldn't even question what's going on. You know, that's the same with a lot of other things. Yeah, I mean, even computer technology. You know, I meet people who think the internet is just basically there to do a bit of shopping and to watch some videos. You know, and I'm like, guys, are you crazy? But I mean, you must know these types of people also. You know, and you go like, this is, you know, and for them, you know, the government's trying to, you know, change a lot of things, and I'm going, hello, like you're missing out on the important parts. You know, you're destroying and attacking, you know, people who bring the new ideas and really push things forward, and that's crazy. Yeah. You know, it's
well, I mean, that is how it should be, though, isn't it? I mean, you know, people should be pushing boundaries and stuff. I mean, all this music that's coming out these days is just completely sanitized. And it doesn't mean anything, you know what I mean? And until we start, you know, experimenting and pushing boundaries, then it will never evolve, you know, because it will always stay the same old.
Exactly. I mean, there's like two different kind of philosophies around, I guess, you know, since a century, you know, where one conservative part of the music scene and even the industry, of course, they go, this is the formula, this is what actually people like, and we just keep repeating it, you know, so it goes round in circles. Why we think it's more an evolution, you know, I mean, like of course there are things where you know, go back to the past and maybe reference something, and, you know, Black Flags is a good example. I mean, that is almost like a Rage Against the Machine song that was programmed on an Atari computer, you know, and that was the kind of joke idea that you would, you know, take the Atari 1040 ST from the 80s and program a track that sounds almost like a Rage Against the Machine Political Stadium type rock track, you know. So you know, so people have to understand like our angle, like why we're doing the things the way that we're doing. But then you have a track, for example, that from the album, which is Digital Decay, which is really like a sort of hacker, you know, the idea, like the lyrics, if you read through them and stuff. And this is way more abstract. And then, of course, you have people who got into Black Flags, and then the other more complex stuff, for them, they go like, okay, fuck, what is this? But the more they listen to it, they understand it, you know. And I think this is often how, in my opinion, music and anything should work. You know, if you just make it easy for people to digest, you know, it's like almost like your McDonald's, you know, if it becomes, you know, you can never really move forward personally if you just get everything delivered on a plate and, you know, smoothed out, and, you know, that's not good, you know. And I hope that, you know, people, create even crazier music now, but I think there's a lot of that stuff online, but I just think people need to come together and be very aware that they have to create a scene, you know, a proper scene, and not just go, you know, that's just more about than just becoming famous or something, you know, because
of course. I mean, it's about being creative, isn't it? I mean, that's what it should always be about, you know. I mean, it's been about creating something that other people enjoy, really. It's not about, you know, as you say, being famous. But I suppose, I mean, SoundCloud helps with a lot of that sort of thing. I mean, people are able to put their music up and other people to listen to it and so forth. But So whether people know where SoundCloud is or even if it exists is a problem, isn't it? But I mean,
I think it's getting more popular now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but the question is, do people really go through all the stuff and find it? But I'm sure there will be some sort of way. Because I think this is what the problem is for a lot of guys I talk to, or musicians or whatever, who are starting out, and it's like, how are they found? And sometimes I think this was quite good the way it was organized in the early '90s, the way people were networking on a much more serious level, not just like, hey, here's a link, check this out. Like back in the day, it was almost like you would pass on these, secret. Vinyl records,
in them days and stuff, you just have a lot more dedicated kind of media for it. So you'd have like dedicated shops that would only sell certain types of records, or you'd have dedicated radio stations to it and stuff, which, like you said, like the pirate radios. And it was so, in a way, it was kind of, if you knew the right people, they could put you into the right places, or you went to the right shops and meet people who have similar interests. And like you say, it would be like networking, but that seems to have all gone as well. Do you know what I mean? You go down, I don't know if you travel around London much or anything, but you go to London and all you ever find is HMV. And all they sell is the stuff that's, in the charts and stuff. And it's just, and that's where the problem lies, I think, is that there hasn't got that kind of same, people can't exist anymore as that kind of independent record shop or...
No, but I mean, that's why you guys do a radio show like this.
Justin Bieber's killed music.
Oh, yeah.
No, but this is when like 2 years ago, we talked a lot about that. The moment the scene becomes creative, we don't have to focus on this. But I want to share a Lady Gaga song. Like this is, it's like I personally think fuck that. Just create your own stuff, because that's when it's becoming interesting. You just bypass these idiots who want to sue people and just create and that is the danger. Not like just to take other people's stuff that this is or whatever, like this is kind of short-sighted almost. But at the moment there's like this scene coming that they can't control. This is when when it's really getting very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to that. And it was funny, like when I spoke to people while we were on tour, that was something that has not really occurred to many of the younger producers or DJs, where they were like, actually, wow, yeah, totally. Why are we not approaching it like that? Like we should not even worry about the mainstream. We just need to create our own music, and it's not as difficult as it was, 20, 30 years ago. So, but it needs, people with that awareness that the mainstream is fighting all of us. It can be funny, we go, oh, that's a funny song, haha. But at the end of the day, the way that the corporations try to control the live shows, like the big festivals, all that stuff, there's less and less room for independent promoters and independent musicians to create a platform and to create a scene. And I think that's a big mistake. Not only because I prefer that type of music, it's also because all the new ideas have always come from the underground. Everything. I mean, if you look at mainstream music now, or like, you could go back in time at any point in time. There were people in the underground doing the same thing, but better and more innovative, like sometimes even 20 years before, So to fight and attack those types of people and to kind of, make it impossible for them to spread their ideas is just very stupid. I mean, I haven't checked out the new MySpace yet, but people have been saying that, it's like only basically the major labels are totally using it as a platform.
It's run by Justin Timberlake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't
I know, but it's like, it's like, why would they just give the major labels so much better access and tools there than the indies. To me, that's exactly not the idea of anything that should happen online. It should be equal, and people should be able to basically find the stuff that they like, and then we can see what people like. And to me, it's like it's crazy if we're getting into that gatekeeper kind of mentality, if we get back into that. And I mean, the majors now, they are even more lost than they were 20 years ago. So it's like, do you want to trust those types of people? Because they are the ones who influence, they lobby the politicians and all that stuff. And most of the laws that are created, this is all major label bullshit, because they just want to keep staying alive or something in business for a little bit longer.
It's all about money, isn't it? At the end of the day, they don't want anybody doing something that they can't make money off. I mean, that's basically all it boils down to, isn't it? I mean, if they want to control it all, so the independent, music creators and so forth, are controlled by them. Because if people start getting into an independent music scene, then all these major companies are not going to make any money off it.
Yeah.
So it's it is bullshit, and that's why places like MySpace get taken over by these places, because they've got the money to do it in the first place. Where a lot of independent people don't have that sort of cash to throw around and advertise and blah blah blah. And like I said, MySpace is run by Justin Timberlake. He's pretty much a corporate whore anyway, so it's kind of like, do you know what I mean? So
Okay. Now, I think that it's important. All of us, we have to create our own secret club, and it's like, okay, this is where the stuff is created, and it's those types of people can't even, they can't even get in. This is how I see it at the moment. It's because it's crazy that they would just. I mean, because we had this. I mean, how many times did we have this that? You have like a mainstream artist who just goes around and, ripping people off. And then, of course, in the mainstream media, it's like, oh, wow, this is such a fresh sound. I mean, we saw it with dubstep, I think there were so many producers in the underground for years who were doing the hard work, and then the sort of like, like more mainstream big DJs come along and just take the, whatever they want to take, and then suddenly, they are headlining the festivals and stuff, and you don't see those, those underground guys enough out there, I think, and getting the rewards for what they actually created, So and I'm really against that, because I think it just kills off new ideas. There's something about that I really believe in, that if you create something, you have something good, that you should be able to, grow that and spread that, and then you can take it further. If there are sort of like people who don't even care about the philosophy behind it, just always taking the ideas, they sit there. I mean, we see it with the superstar DJs right now. What are they bringing to the table? And just, nothing, So, and I think, I've been there 20 years ago. I've seen a lot of my friends and stuff really being so frustrated when this was going on, when it happened to them. But it's like, we have to understand, okay, we have to move faster. Like if the mainstream discovers it, tries to, exploit it, we have to have the next idea ready, So that's just the way it is. And I think this goes so much for if you program software, if you do all these other fields, it's exactly the same. It's the same procedure.
Any idea. Any idea at all. It doesn't matter if it's music or not. If somebody thinks they're going to make money off it, you just know somebody will try to, control it and take it over. It's just quite shocking, really, how ridiculous it all gets.
Yeah, it does. But
yeah, exactly.
That's.
So you're in Tokyo this weekend.
Yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to open the set with the. I've been doing this in all my DJ sets with the, from Max Kaiser, the report when they spoke about the Sony donation. And people love it. Like when we went on stage, we played a festival last weekend in Geneva called Electron Festival, and before we came on stage, we had this like the Max Kaiser thing run, like we did also at our show in Berlin last fall. And it's great to see people really applauding, like they, Anonymous getting, I think, a lot of support from music fans as well at this point. And I think that's good because it's, sometimes you feel like that because of the media stuff, it's the Guy Fawkes mask, and often it's been it's so simplified, the story in the mainstream media, that my fear is always that people get the wrong idea, maybe if they don't really look deeper. But if you at shows, you can really sense that people are not stupid, at least not at our shows.
I hope not. But so basically, it's a DJ set you're doing this weekend. It's not actually not time.
Yeah, and at Sonar, I'm booked as DJ. So, but last weekend we played live. So it's we do both things. So
okay. I mean, if anybody listening who wants to sort of see a DJ set, I think the Boiler Room video is now up on YouTube. So if anybody wants to watch, Alec Empire doing a DJ set. With, I think it was MC Rowdy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then it's probably worth checking out. It's a really good set.
Yeah, really, you like it? Okay, good. Because
Wait, were you very impressed with it, or were you a bit?
No. We saw it. We went in there. I mean, the concept of Boiler Room is like you play records for your friends in your living room or something. So you would see most DJs just playing some records, and people would hang out or stand there. We were like, okay, we go in there, and when we do the set, I want this to end in a mosh pit, and that's what we did. And of course, the way to get to that in an environment, you need to stir shit up and create chaos. So some people, if I DJ, for example, in a more club environment or whatever, this is not always like this Boiler Room set. I can also go on for like 4 hours and people just, go nuts and then dance and stuff. So, but on the other side, I think it's good. Like also there was some hate, about the way we interrupted the flow, and Rowdy was kind of like.
I love it when DJs
was really
do that.
into you.
Do you know what, Alec? I love it when DJs do that. You're in a nice flow and then they fuck your shit up in your head and they just throw something else into it. That's the best. People don't understand that bit of chaos it creates in the head.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, this is what we wanted to do there, and it worked. At the end of the day, like, people were going crazy, and we're like, I mean, there was the technician of Boiler Room who was like, what the fuck? Oh my God! Like, they're gonna blow the PA, and that's, of course, the kind of thing that we're doing.
I mean, of course, if the listeners really want to see some Alec Empire chaos, then there's a definite video set in Berlin, 1999, where there was actual riot by Atari Teenage Riot. That's worth checking out to see real chaos. That was.
That's the typical thing. Or check out the Live at Fusion 2010, that festival that we played in. This is outside of Berlin. It's a great festival. It's like no sponsorship, they do everything completely independent. But a lot of people go. It's like 40, 50,000 people or something in total. And we were playing there unannounced. So it was like the first show we did after that London show we did in 2010, and it's the promoter said, look, if you guys are playing again, you just go on stage on the main stage, just go on, and it was so great to see, like, we just, turned up and plugged in the machines, and people were like, no way, like, no, no. And it was awesome to see the people went crazy, and then they took away the barriers. I don't know if you've ever seen this footage, but you can see it on YouTube. It's on our channel, and it's like it was like the Romans or something. Like when you see these old, like the movies or something from the '60s, and when they have these shields, over their heads, so they don't get hit by arrows. But they took the barriers and then, basically passed them on backwards to the end of the to the end of the where the crowd was, and the security couldn't stop it, and then there was like nothing there anymore in front of the stage. Then you see that one guy who is like looking around, he's like, okay, nobody can stop us. Let's go. And you end up like with like 20,000 people on stage, and it was
No way.
yeah, it was going crazy. Like, but this is the stuff that we love to do, you know. So
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, it's getting people involved as much as possible, even on an emotional level. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, some of the live stuff is just amazing. Some of the things I've yet to see you live, and I remember tweeting you last year about asking you when you were going to come over to the UK, but yeah, I never got to that one, unfortunately.
that was good. That was quite a good show. But you know, I mean, there were two shows we did. We did this one at the garage, and then that was sold out, and then we added the this Old Blue Last place, you know, which is a smaller place. We just added this on the second day, but this had to actually get stopped because somebody passed out after like 40 minutes. It was like, because it was just too heavy for that place. You know? I mean, I mean, seriously, it was like people were, you know, because I think Arctic Monkeys played it before, and Amy Winehouse and those types of bands, and some secret shows, and you know, that's a different thing than when we turn up there. But whatever, there was some guy who passed out, and the whole thing had to get stopped like after 45 minutes or so. But it was one of these shows again. But it was good. Like, and we are definitely coming back in the fall to England. I mean, we are just putting the shows together. So.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oh, that is good news, because well, expect me. I'm coming to man up.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten. Like,
I'll tweet you when I'm on my way. I'm telling you, I'll say I'm manning up. I'm coming to a gig.
We'll see how many UK nons we can get down there. We'll mask up and stuff.
Yeah, please. Like, you know, you get guest list. You know, this was awesome. Like, almost Julian Assange wanted to come down, but with his, you know, before he went to the embassy, like, this was in, you know, almost like a year ago when we played that garage show, and we were thinking this would have been such a great thing if he quickly would have said something on stage or whatever, and then you would have the audience, you know, people would all wear the masks. There's something about, like, and the first time I noticed that was at a show in Berlin, when there was just one person with the Guy Fawkes mask. It's kind of, you know, creepy, man. Like, you play on stage and there's like this one this one mask looking at you, and you go, okay, shit. No, so I mean, the idea, you know, because the audience, usually you see their face expressions, so you kind of, like, you know, you go along with that. But that was a good thing. If that would be like 1,000 people or something, that would look amazing.
That would just be freaky, though, wouldn't it? That would be weird. You come out on stage and there's all these people just with Guy Fawkes masks.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, play better. No, play better. Okay.
You're also perfectly still as well, right, for the whole set. Would that be just weird?
This is what's going to happen to Cameron at some point, you know.
Hopefully they'll burn him like they did with Guy Fawkes, or at least an effigy of him.
Yeah, Judgment Day.
Did you ever see the footage of the protest we did that was done on 5th of November last year?
No, I actually haven't seen the footage, but I saw some tweets about it and stuff. Did it come along? Like, you guys?
Well, it was like, I'll send you a link to that. I'll send you a YouTube link to the footage.
Yeah,
it depends what press you believe.
There was like
how many
2,000 nons there.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah.
So this should be in the next edit of Black Flags then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's
definitely. Yeah,
actually
we'll send you the footage from the YouTube thing and send you some stuff from that. Yeah.
Yeah, some very good footage from it. Walking straight down Whitehall, 2,000 ons walking down. It's quite cool.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll definitely send you. I'll send you a link to that because it is quite impressive.
Awesome.
We're hoping to get it bigger this year and stuff.
Right,
So
now.
if you're around in November and you want to do a gig in Parliament Square, let us know.
Yeah, totally. No, so seriously, if we have some lead time, we could maybe set something up together. You know, this would be
Yeah,
cool.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, good to have sort of like turn it into because like last year, I mean, a lot of people turned up and stuff, and they were, you know, we got to Parliament, and there was obviously a line of cops and stuff there and that.
Yeah.
But it would be good to have sort of, you know, other things going on and stuff. So yeah, definitely this year. I mean, maybe, you know, have a chat about it, and if you're around, then yeah, that'd be quite cool, really.
I I believe you follow Brian Knappenberger. He actually used some, I think, some footage from Op Vendetta in his final cut of the We Are Legion story as well. But unfortunately, because we're UK based, some of it's been censored due to court cases yet to be heard.
Okay. So it's not maybe in the version that he sent me once, right?
Yeah, there was a
because I don't remember seeing it. But
yeah, there is a final release version that came out, I believe, just the end of last year.
Okay, cool. That's because I always wanted. It's also out on like a DVD and stuff, right? Because I still want to just order that, so I have that and support him. Because I love this work. You know, I think that film is like I think every time I show people that, they get it. You know, and that's so important because. Yeah, if you don't have anything to do with these topics, then it can get confusing, you know. But I think when you hear the actual people also speak, you know, I love the opener with Mercedes and stuff like that. You know, that's you say Mercedes or how you call her in English, the girl.
I think it's Mercedes. I think.
Yeah, Mercedes. Yeah.
Mercedes. Yeah. Well, Mercedes, but
yeah, exactly. So this is awesome stuff. Like, no, and that you know because it's very rarely like in the press. Always people make stuff up, or you know they go, oh, this is what we think this means, you know, and it's. I think it's amazing that he did this film.
Yeah, we actually had him on. He actually came on and did an interview with us. Actually,
awesome. That's also down for download, or.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Is it still available
podcast? Actually, I think it got destroyed, but I'm sure I have a backup on my YouTube. I'm just going to check my channel.
Cool.
I'm not sure what was, but I know we got the Barbie Twins one, but a lot of them were deleted when I got censored on YouTube for broadcasting the shows on there as well.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah, it's quite disappointing actually.
So it was a really good interview as well. I mean, he called us straight from, I think it was Los Angeles at the time.
Yeah.
And it was really good because it was like one of the first interviews we'd done. And
cool.
It was just, it was really good because it was just before the release of the actual video. The actual DVD was released. It was, everybody had downloaded the YouTube free thing that somebody had uploaded to YouTube. So everybody had downloaded that and watched that, which was really good. But since then, we've actually been to the UK for the Topiary trial. I think it was in July or something like that, and he was there with Palmy Olsen. He was doing a book.
Yeah, I met her like at this security conference last fall. You know, like So how is he doing?
Say again.
How is he doing?
Well, Topiary?
Yeah.
I think his next trial is up in. Is it April the 14th?
Okay, so
he's up on trial again, but we don't really have any contact with him obviously because he can't go online and stuff, and he's not allowed to do this, that, and the other. So.
Okay.
But no, we spoke to so Brian came on for that, and he kind of promoted it. That was quite good. That was a good chat. And then we had Palmy Olsen come on to do the promotion of the book. She interviewed her as well. That was really good.
Yeah, so, she sent me her book. I have to say I haven't fully read it yet, but it's a hard copy. You know, like it's amazing. It's just great. Like we were at this panel speaking about it. I don't know if I don't know. It wasn't online. It just happened. It was me then Josh Corman. You know, like he
got a lot of hate for that.
Yeah, but you know he was moderating the whole thing, so it was like. You know, he had to be kind of like take a sort of objective stance. But it was still good that this happened because, you know, I was able to say things. And she also, you know, so, yeah.
But no, she was, I mean, the book hasn't been released in this country yet because of the Topiary trial. None of us have had the chance to actually read it. Not legally.
I actually haven't read it. Technically, I haven't read it.
Okay, good.
I've got an audiobook version of it, though.
And there's an audiobook? Really?
Yes, available on iTunes. And that's not the proper iTunes, that's iTunes.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
But the good thing about Palmy was, when we actually spoke to her about it, one of our ideas was to actually start playing the audiobook once a week, have a little bit of it, a chapter or so each night. And she allowed us to do that. She said, "Yeah, no problem, do it."
Okay.
So that was really good of her, really. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like her. Like, it was good that what she said. I mean, I still have to read the book, and but she seems like she put a lot of work into it and stuff. And I think that's important because there was a time, I don't know if that's still the case so much, but let's say like a year ago or so, sometimes you had the feeling that people were trying to kind of cash in on the, on the sort of media hype, but I don't know even if so many books were written, but definitely in Germany there were some articles sometimes, you were like, what's going on, so.
Yeah, I mean, the Gabriella Coleman stuff's probably the most well-known stuff. There's a few sort of conferences by her that were online and stuff, and she's obviously in the process of writing a book about Anonymous, which should be really interesting because she knows more about Anonymous than anybody.
She's the puppet master.
Yes, she is. Yes.
Yeah,
very well said.
She's
and she's fit.
Poster girl, isn't she? For Anonymous.
No, let's be honest, she is quite hot.
Okay, so she hears that, hopefully. I
don't mind if it tells
I think we told her when she actually came on.
Yeah, I think I told her.
Okay, good. No, I thought, to be honest, I thought it's like there's like probably 90% girls in Anonymous, right?
Oh, yeah, there's girls on the internet. Everyone knows that.
Okay.
They're all traps.
No, but I mean, it was surprising. I still think, I mean, there's the stereotype that people have, and that was even at that panel that I was on, where this professor was saying, like, it's like this typical teenage video gamer, male, doesn't understand anything, dumb, blah, blah. I was like, hold on a minute.
No, exactly, no.
And you could really tell that was like tabloid press.
Yeah, it's just bullshit, isn't it? I mean, I do find it disturbing seeing girls in Goforth masks because it just sort of wrecks my head a little bit because obviously, it's a bloke with a girl's body and it just seems a bit weird.
Or a fed.
That's Apex right there. Window licker, If you grow up on these kind of sexual role models, you don't have a problem with that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But no, it's a bit bad, really. But no, it was. It's been really. Yeah. We'll send you a link to the Brian Appenberger thing, and
yeah, please.
I'll get you a link to the November the 5th thing as well. And
the link's not on my YouTube. It might be on Online's because he was streaming the show maybe at that time. But if he hasn't got it, I know YouTube actually censored his account on a lot of the shows. He had something like 200 videos and over 1 million hits, and they kind of, I hate to use the phrase, but they did rape his YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you guys can't get this up alternatively, but okay, that's probably where most people would probably see it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it does, most stuff just generically goes to YouTube, I think, you know what I mean, because it's easier.
Yeah.
With the station we use, we can all just click a button and link it to an account, and it automatically gets podcasted. But because YouTube and Google don't like copyright infringements, they split the shows into 15 minutes, then ban the accounts.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the copyright infringement? That was the...
all the music.
Okay,
Right.
You should use our music, guys. I keep saying this.
We do, actually.
So you're compromising the message. What kind of music did you put in there? Like some...
Well, I normally...
Saving Private Ryan sound.
Oh, no, like I said, I normally play UK rap, you know what I mean, which is normally by unsigned artists, you know what I mean, so I can get away with it and actually have the permission to play it, so...
Good.
Not that it would
we do. I mean, we do occasionally play the odd sort of things like earlier you played Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy, didn't you, and Censor and stuff, which are all kind of copyright music, I guess. So
yeah, see, I like
Censor. You know that this was the first show we've done, right? Do you know this? Or? With them, like in '92, that was we opened up for them. So it's quite funny that you liked or that you used the music. So.
Oh right, okay, that's cool.
I remember, I mean, this was really us starting out. We handed in this demo tape, you know, like an analog tape.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, I mean, their management or whatever, it was like, this is cool. Like, because in Berlin at the time, you couldn't find so much good stuff. So we were also kind of lucky. And they were totally into it. It was great. That was the first time, actually, I saw this reaction because we are using this drum machine. It's called TR-909, you know, which is like this old Roland analog drum machine. Yeah. You've maybe seen photos or something on our website or whatever. It's like this. By now, it looks pretty fucked up, and because we never replaced it. So, and at the time, you know, when we did sound check, you know, this was like we had a tracker like 200 BPM, and the whole band was coming out like running on stage with, oh my God, nobody ever put this drum machine at such a high speed. And they were totally excited. You can't possibly do this. This is amazing. You know? And we were like, yeah, that's
we can.
We want to put it faster, but it just goes to, you know, 249 BPM. So that was good. But seriously, what we should all do, like, we should have, like, you know, at least 20 pieces of music that you guys can just use, you know. There should be like a library of stuff that can be just used, so YouTube can't shut it down because of bullshit like that, you know.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, if we get access to your SoundCloud and stuff, and if you're happy for us to use stuff from your SoundCloud and things like that, I mean, that's what we generally ask sort of when we get people on. You know, if they've got SoundClouds, if we get access to SoundClouds, if they allow us to and stuff, and to use it, then, you know, generally they say it's all right.
Yeah. I mean, I think there should be stuff written especially for that, you know. I think that would be awesome. You know?
Well, there's the free commerce license, isn't there? You can do stuff. You can produce stuff under free commerce, can't you?
You can do anything if you if you have done it. You know, nobody can do anything against it.
No, exactly. No.
You know, you don't even need to, you know, go into the Creative Commons, like all this stuff. It's just, I mean, okay, you could, but when you say as the musician, you go, this is what I want happening with this, you know, with this piece of music. Nobody else can. Or maybe if you signed your life away with some evil company or something, then, you know, but then you are not in control anymore. So there should be like a call for like independent musicians who, you know, to write it. You know, we just need like a sort of an orchestra piece, right? Some sort of like, you guys always use this sort of action, like glorified, like you know, like brass.
yeah, of course, yeah, totally. I mean, a lot of videos.
Then there should be like some hip hop stuff, all kinds of stuff. You know, I talked to the others. I think this would be good.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I mean, you know, if you find the time to do something like that, that'd be great. Also, if you ever want us to showcase any new tracks or anything, you know, feel free to send them over and we'll
just send them over to AnonUK Radio and we'll get them aired for you. Yeah, happily.
Yeah, totally. No, like we are just wrapping the record up, and then hopefully we can send some stuff out, which. I haven't said in public, but
no.
You know, these evil anonymous people, they always hack your hard drive, and you know, we were able to do. You know, I was on a Skype chat, and suddenly, boom! Like the whole record.
That's it.
But this was, by the way, like this was something really funny. Like when the Sony thing was going on, the kind of fear that was, I mean, like in these talks, because I got a lot of, you know, angry phone calls, you know, when the news came out. Like, I guess I talked about this in earlier interviews. But the kind of like paranoia connected, that was kind of funny to see, actually.
I can imagine it, but yeah. I'm sure there's a few people who actually we've asked to come on. And as soon as we make it to the Skype and stuff, they go, oh, well, I don't know. You're thinking, oh, God. Or they think we're going to try to hack them or something.
Okay, good. Shit. It's too late. Whatever.
We wouldn't do that.
What's hacking?
It's a German word.
Oh, right.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Is that one of them sexual erotic things?
Okay, so, you guys have to definitely send me the link with the, you know.
We will do, yeah, definitely, yeah.
We would post it on the Atari website and stuff.
Oh, excellent, brilliant.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'll send you. So I mean, we're going to have to wrap up soon anyway because we're running out of time. But yeah, we'll. I'll send you all the links and stuff. I'll get Ajax will get the podcast sorted out for you.
Yes.
And I'll send the links to the video of November the 5th and that sort of thing, and feel free to use it. And then you can pass it you want, really, I suppose.
Okay, awesome.
But that'll be be good, and I'm sure we'll stay in touch and stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm not going away so far. Like, I hope.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I've been here. I'm the fungus, the virus.
But feel free to send us links and things or anything you want, and we'll music-wise and stuff. We'll definitely get it sent out for you and stuff, put it out for you and play it and.
Yeah, awesome. That would be great. Because this is like what we what the idea is also of the whole the project and stuff that we can kind of bypass the usual bullshit that any band would kind of do, and let's premiere this on that big website and this and that. There's some stuff, of course, that we always do because we think it's good, because it's an opportunity. But the underground stuff, I always think that's more exciting anyway. So
yeah, completely, yeah, totally.
Cool, man.
We'll stay on Skype for a bit, and we'll close the show off because I think we're almost over.
Okay, cool, man.
Excellent.
But we'll get you some links and stuff.
Okay, thanks.
Right, so, hi, just mute my mic a minute, bear with me. Sorry. Hi guys, thanks for listening on UK. That was Alex Empire and Schism from Atari